Merry Christmas and Happy Chanukah, kids! Live! Though only through voiceover, because they wouldn't give me a video camera. From my very own padded cell is the Nero Reviews Christmas Climax Spectacular! Woohoo! Since it's the time of giving, I figured I'd share it with my loving friend Draco. So, without further ado, I present my reviewing associate Draco live from... You know, honestly, I don't know where the hell I had him put, but that's why it's called plausible deniability, kids! Draco buddy, how are you? Are you still living?
Nero? Where the hell am I?
As you may or probably not know, considering there are probably no windows where you're at right now, it's Christmas time, the time of giving and good cheer and love towards your fellow man. I was thinking, being that special time of year, you would help me out with a review.
Did you have to tie me up for this?
Oh, I am a firm believer in that if you spare the rod, you spoil the child.
Screw you.
Oh, well, now we can fix that with a little electroshock I had Otis wire to your chair.
Who's Otis? Oh, you... No! Ah! Guy, did you just stick me with a cattle prod?
It doesn't matter. Let's move onward to a review of one of the greatest shit stains in the underwear of DC Comics films. We're reviewing the comic book abomination that is Green Lantern. So, Draco, why don't you tell the little chitlins at home what Green Lantern is?
Nothing more complicated than cops in space. And yet somehow, $200 million, 3 writers, and a rewrite made this abomination. With that said, here's my brief opinion on my favorite Lantern, Hal Jordan. I always imagined Hal Jordan as a cocky, self-sure pilot who in the end can exemplify more Boy Scout traits than even Superman, as well as being absolutely above fear.
What we got was Van Wilder in space!
And we begin with Jeffrey Rush explaining to us every minute detail on who the Lanterns are.
A race of immortals harness the most powerful force in existence. The emerald energy of willpower.
That's fine, as you really can't show 3,600 cops in their jurisdictions.
Whoa, hold it a tick here, pal. 3,600?
Yeah, this movie has no concept of space.
And the twats of the universe somehow expect only 3,600 people to patrol the entire universe.
And that you think about it, the Silver Age never had a concept of space either. What? That's it? That's the soundtrack? Where's the bombacity? Where's the triumph? Hell, where's the composer?
Compare this to John Williams' Superman. Or Danny Elfman's Batman. And here we have our genius scientists who will undoubtedly unleash an ancient evil onto the unsuspecting universe. They just need to find it first.
Hey, don't you find it ironic we all got only 2 days left till retirement, eh? That's Parallax?
What? What's wrong with him, dude?
Haven't you ever read a Green Lantern book?
Nah, man, I'm more of a Lobo fan.
Yeah, I know, but what the hell? This looks nothing like Parallax.
What the fuck's he look like in the comics?
Like this.
Holy shit. That looks awesome. It looks like some kind of fierce space bug or something.
6 space months later. Wait a minute. 6 space months and we still can't find the brown baby shit cloud slicking out of that solar system?
Well, what do you expect with only 3,600 lanterns on the payroll?
But they aren't even paid!
That's what happens when you have 3,600 unpaid, disgruntled lanterns living off of Dagobah food stamps.
So what, they live off of sea urchins and swamp slugs?
Sinestro, I'm traveling at maximum velocity. Tell Ventara
Ventara is dead. Every life form destroyed and their essence absorbed. Traces of yellow power everywhere.
Yeah, it's not like we don't know anything made of yellow power.
In all fairness, dude, Parallax is shit brown in this movie.
Good point. Why does Abensur need the ship when the ring provides flight to its wearer?
For dramatic tension!
Dramatic tension, you ignorant...
Oh no, getting ambushed?
Oh, shit.
Wait a minute. Isn't the Green Lantern ring supposed to warn its wearer of incoming dangers, sort of like Spidey sense? Also, he's in a ship. Wouldn't all the doohickeys and shit around him tell him of incoming objects or fucking a giant life form?
So Abensur escapes... because... this is Hal Jordan! He sleeps with floozies, is late to work, and drives like a jackass.
Asshole.
Oh, and here comes the mod rush of characters now. It's fucking Carol Ferris. Get used to these awkwardly placed contrived love interest scenes.
You know, man, I just thought of something. We should totally have a counter every time the film goes into a cheesy, pointless love scene.
Great idea. So we continue on to see Ferris and Jordan test out these new, military-grade, self-reliant fighter jets that are perfectly computer-operated. And they've been given explicit instructions to not destroy these million-dollar vehicles.
So, after this delightful scene of Hal Jordan costing Ferriser millions and millions of dollars in property damage, and he still doesn't seem to fucking care how much money he burnt, we get a delightful scene of Hal Jordan getting his ass chewed out by this guy.
You stupid son of a bitch.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see where they're going with this. This guy is supposed to obviously be Hector Hammond, and his fallibility is Hal risking him his job and costing his company millions. This is actually a great idea. I'll give the movie this.
Oh, you dumb bastard. Listen to me, fuckwit. We've been in this movie for a while now. We're at least up to our knees in shit from how everything's being written and handled from the source material. Exactly how is Hal Jordan as a character so far?
Well, he's defiant of his superior officers, going so far as to destroy 3 expensive prototypes just so he can prove a point. Hal caused the termination of at least 3 workers and seems indifferent of costing these men the ability to support themselves or their hypothetical families.
Since I'm going to have to lay off most of my company anyway, you're fired.
Instead of being fired, like he should, Hal is grounded.
It's too late,
You don't
Carl,
get
I
off that
quit.
easy. He's not fired, and you don't quit. You're grounded.
Which is never explained upon, so it's a vague punishment for his actions. And he goes about his normal routine, completely unchanged by what has happened.
Watch your back.
That's impossible, Bob.
Oh, by the way, he's kind of afraid of flying. Every time he gets in the air, he has some of the gnarliest flashbacks imaginable, which is great, because if you want to shove in some more exposition... Also, shooting in the dark here, is it not the whole pretense of being a Green Lantern is to be without fear? This was even acknowledged in the beginning.
In order to be chosen by the ring, it was said one must be without fear.
And does Ferris Air not do psych tests on their up-and-coming pilots? Do these morons just throw the keys to any random douche that struts into the place?
This test today, it's important.
I got it. I'm gonna make you look good up there. Don't worry, okay? Now let's get these pants off and fly some planes.
Apparently.
So, audience, as far as I'm concerned, the protagonist is unlikable ass, which takes any tension or drama in this film and throws it out the window. Having an unrelatable asshole who feels no remorse for his actions as the protagonist really can kill the drama.
I guess now we should get that fucking origin story thing going, shouldn't we?
Thus, Hal Jordan's whisked away in a glowing green hamster ball, carrying him away in the afternoon. At night.
What the fuck? What, did the filmmakers forget to film this shit?
It's the pinnacle plot point that finally begins the movie. Wait, how long are we into this?
Would you really like to know?
Oh.
Would you really like to know?
Yes. 22 minutes? It took 22 minutes for the movie to actually begin.
It's okay, buddy. Look, Hal Jordan's here. There's an unsuspecting spaceship over there. He can just take the damn ring, and we could finally start this hunk of shit.
But he landed on a sword near a ship by a city?
Well, where did Ebenezer crash land in the comic books?
He crashed in the middle of a desert, man. No one saw him. Save for Jordan, but he was flying by.
Well, now he's on a shoreline because... I don't have a fucking clue. If I had to guess, these fuckers probably didn't get the rights to film in the desert somewhere. Or maybe it's just for fucking plot convenience because we need the military to find Ebenezer's carcass.
So, back at his apartment, instead of, Hal developed his own mantra or learning the GL oath from Ebenezer, he of course makes pop culture references.
To infinity and beyond. By the power of Grayskull. Carol.
Oh, God, we got it. She loves Hal Jordan. This film follows such a generic superhero formula.
Well, in that case, buddy, let's just add a dose of villain into the mix.
Baby shit clown. What more shit could they throw at us?
Behold, buddy! Hector Hammond!
That is Hector. My God, what a mutated freak of science.
Draco, he actually hasn't mutated yet.
Huh? Seriously? Dude's got a widow speak that rivals Vegeta. So Hector apparently just starts out as a creepy, big-headed freak.
Yeah, so Hector's introduced and then... So that's how they got Peter Sarsgaard into this film.
Yes, drugged, kidnapped with a gun pointed to him. I sympathize.
Hey, we barely drugged you. Oh shit, look man, it's Angel Bassett.
Dr. Hammond. Dr. Amanda Waller.
No, you ain't, bitch!
In the comics, she's this badass, no-nonsense boss. Here she's...
Angela Bassett?
Huh?
Where the fuck? Oh, okay, so I guess this is our fearless protagonist who runs away from commitment, like every good hero. Meanwhile, a couple of guys come to knock the shit out of Hal. I'm in full support of this.
I told you to watch your back, Jordan. You cost us all our jobs, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, let's get this straight. Our protagonist, who's rightfully assaulted by the very same workers whose jobs he had costed earlier.
And Hal Jordan just unloads on these guys. That fucker is crippled, and those other two are fucking dead.
Right, and this is a triumphant moment. What?
Wow, we really did get Van Wilder in space.
Yeah, check it out, man. Hector Hammond's actually scoring some superpowers because... Oh, fuck it, man. Let's face facts. He'd have no other reason to be in this goddamn movie.
Pricked by yellow light. At least it wasn't a meteor.
Isn't that what it was in the comic books?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, well, we couldn't have that then now, could we? But look, over there, behold! Oa and all its CGI'd, sterile, shitty, fake-looking goodness!
Now we play character cameo!
Huh, hells yeah, man. This is the key essential game to any adaptation to a film.
Yes! You see, we must please the fanboys in small doses. So they don't realize the crap we shelled out to them! Ha ha ha! Okay, let's try and identify what characters made into the movie. And... begin.
Amanita.
Apros.
Boudica.
Buzzed.
Chessalon.
Jehu.
Gelius Zed.
Green Man.
Hanu.
Ismat Cole.
Larvox.
Len Kennard.
Midana.
Bedfeld.
Moro.
Not Kiloi.
Nochavius.
Penelope.
Rami Hull.
Rotlafan.
Salak.
Cell.
Vaz.
Time's up. So adding up the characters, we got... Oh my god! It's a new record! 0!
Speaking of character cameos, and I do mean cameo considering this character isn't in the movie fucking long enough to contribute anything, here's Michael Clark Duncan, a wonderful actor, playing Kilowog, a wonderful character.
Never let your guard down, Poozer. Welcome to Ring Slinging 101.
It's true, because Michael Clark Duncan is a big softy like Kilowog, and it would be great if it weren't for the fact it's only a 3-minute scene, no montage, and it only works to set up a shitty Chekhov's gun.
Chekhov? What, the nuclear vessels guy?
Yeah, see, Chekhov's gun, for me, is a device that is mentioned at one point during the story, and somehow is used to resolve the film in a very cheap manner. Like Harry Potter and that fucking Elder Wand.
Oh, so in this case, we wouldn't really have a Chekhov's gun so much as a Kilowog's gun.
Feel that? Just the gravitational pull of your average sun makes flying through space very dangerous. The bigger you are, the quicker you burn.
Yeah, predictably so. God, I wish something good can... Is that Sinestro? Oh, shit. Oh my god, he's killing them.
God, their heads are huge. I mean, for Sinestro, it makes perfect sense, because he was always kind of bulbous, eh? But for fucking Orion, man, he's like a goddamn bobblehead.
No, if you're going to CGI this much of the film, just animate the damn thing. First Flight made to tell a great story just fine, and it was animated.
See, Draco, there's your fucking problem, bro. It's animated. It's a children's medium. And everyone knows you can't tell adult stories with animation.
Well, even for DC films, you do have the Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Sub-Zero, Batman Year One, Batman Sub-Zero Year One, Batman Iron Man, not so finest.
Why are there so many fucking Batman movies?
No, this fight scene is incredibly boring. How's Hector Hammond doing?
God, cut to the Green Lanterns!
We are poor. Wait, are they saying we are poor?
Well, don't you remember the Dagobah food stamps?
Oh, this is so unnecessary and redundant. Go to Hal Jordan doing something heroic.
Oh yeah, because nothing says heroic like product placement.
And speaking of whoring out, don't forget LG had their hands in the cookie jar too.
So we cut to Sinestro asking for a yellow ring. Yeah, that makes sense. Fight the yellow thing with the yellow thing. Oh, I guess the guards agreed to forge it.
Oh, come on, man. For Christ's sake, it couldn't be that easy. Chrono wanted the same fucking thing. And that's what turned him into, I guess, the villain of this piece of shit.
Krona? It's Krona Parallax. Is that like Chronolax? Or screw it. X-Lax. Why, it might as well. The plot says so.
And did Hector want to turn into Orson Welles?
No, but he did get telekinesis out of it, so it planned out for him. Also, he kind of takes over the plot.
Oh, it looks like Hector's finally moving on up in the world. Good for him!
Okay, so just how long did it take for our hero to meet the villain in this movie?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, God. Okay, so like an elaborate Rube Goldberg machine, this movie follows the motions. Basically, the plot points are this. Hal Jordan and Hector fight. This allows Parallax to learn where Earth is, somehow. Oh yeah, Hector screams. We get another pointless padding moment of love. Hector screams. Then Sinestro gets his yellow ring, which the writers then decide, let's not use it. And they just basically shove it away. Hal Jordan leaves Earth to go to Oa, despite the fact that he knows Parallax is heading to Earth to wipe out all life.
And now the moment you've all been waiting for.
Oh, that's right, Nero. It's the clusterfuck climax.
So we got Hector really trying to earn his place in this piece of shit via cliche villain rhetoric by abducting our dumbass damsel.
I'm gonna make her like me, and let's face it, once she's like me, and you wouldn't be very interested. Now would you?
Peter Sarsgaard is hamming it up, so way to Raul Juliet it.
Yeah, I would totally be in agreement with that if, it wasn't for the fact some kind of brown baby shit cloud somehow sneaks on a building completely unnoticed and just eats them.
So after X-Lax trickles into the fucking hangar, I love how our hero stands idly by watching a former friend suffer a fate worse than death.
I'll give Ryan some credit. He probably doesn't even know what the fuck is going on.
Well, look at all these people just standing around looking blankly. It's kind of like when Hal Jordan lifted the helicopter with the Hot Wheels thing in that one scene. Or when Hal Jordan's father died. They just looked blankly at the fucking scene oh, what the hell's going on?
I find it baffling that 2 alien worlds and 12 seasoned lanterns couldn't stop Parallax, but somehow 2 Earth missiles seem to just piss him the fuck off and send him running out the building like a little bitch.
Because the plot. Yeah, right into the streets, where he proceeds to consume the innocent civilians, leaving millions of children orphaned, and many families broken in the process. Look, Hal Jordan's just standing right there.
There isn't even much of a fight that starts here on Earth, and then somehow they try to escalate it, I use that term very loosely, mind you, into outer space. Oh, wait a minute. Parallax... He eats fear, right? But that's only in the movie he eats fear.
Yeah, the movie has it where he rips out fear and eats it. It doesn't make sense to me, and here's why. It's kind of like an agoraphobic fat guy, restricted to his house via ankle monitor, and let's pretend the house is the universe. He has a fridge full of the most delicious food I can ever imagine. So what happens after eating all the food? Well, eventually he'll starve himself out and die. That's why Parallax in the movie doesn't make sense. In the comics, Parallax incites fear, thus increasing his longevity. Here, he depletes his own food source. So Hal Jordan manages to take a left-hand turn into an asteroid field located right by Earth. Yeah, again, this movie has no concept of space. Now that you think about it, how can hard light constructs have a mass? When Kilowog is doing his little sun thing, gravity's due to mass.
I would totally see your point there, buddy, but I'm still trying to understand fully how Sinestro managed to persuade the little blue fuckwits about getting the yellow ring. They seemed pretty gung-ho about it being bad, yellow corrupts, and then they just make one?
And was Hector supposed to be sympathetic or not? Speaking of inconsistent characters. This whole arc is born a loser, died a loser, so it's basically just a nice straight fucking line. Might you with a bigger head, but not by much.
So, Kilowog's gun there,
There was a I'm sorry. I was really distracted with Hal Jordan kicking him in his alien nuts to remember.
So Hal Jordan just flies towards the sun, somehow really unaffected by its own gravity, and he just sucker punches Parallax into the sun, basically killing him.
Oh, you get...
And that's it! Hal Jordan single-handedly defeated the God of Fear, simply by decking it in the jaw. Nothing short of poetry. Cue the fucking credits.
That's almost everything on the checklist, but I think this film is missing something.
Dude, he fucking defeated Parallax. The movie's been fucked so bad. This thing got Last Airbendered. It got fucking killed before it got started.
Wait, can you hear it? Terrible sound. It sounds like a hook scraping on the movie's premise itself. Oh my god, it's a sequel hook!
What the hell is that?
Well, I mean, I guess this is okay. He had the ring in the comics.
You can't give Sinestro the ring because he had it in the comics.
That's true. I mean, in the comic books, he had a very big character arc. He wasn't just cut and dry evil like he was in the, old days, because that's not how characters are written. In this movie, him getting the yellow ring makes no sense. I mean, at least in First Flight, they went to development. They explained why he wanted the yellow ring, why he didn't trust the Guardians. I mean, Mark Strong even said on the extras on the fucking DVD, he read Sinestro Corps Wars. He did the research to get his character down.
And where is Sinestro supposed to get the power source for the yellow ring? I mean, Parallax is dead. There's no source of fear for him to tap into. It's gone. The film had two villains. One was supposed to be the representation of fear.
And then we got Hector Hammond. And the CGI is terrible. I mean, X to the computer fucking terrible. It's fine if you have CGI characters with CGI characters and CGI background, because guess what, peeps? It's gonna be the same lighting physics. But Ryan Reynolds just sticks out like a bobblehead with a fucking anorexic body, and it looks freaky.
I agree, but I would argue this, and this argument's pretty much made completely moot by everything else, the tripe, is that Mark Strong does bring his A-game when doing this role.
It was for this moment that we were created. But I don't need to tell you your duty. I don't need to tell you who we are.
Yeah, but that's only just a small 2 percentile of this film. Ryan Reynolds, on the other hand, is the film. And he's just what Van Wilder. I'm so flabbergasted. He's not Hal Jordan. He's the sorority boy. He's the drunk. He's the party guy who doesn't give a fuck. And it's not a superhero character. This is not someone you can root for. You have great actors like Peter Sarsgaard, Mark Strong, Jeffrey Rush, and Michael Clark Duncan all pushed out of the way for Van Wilder in space.
Not to mention, this film pretty much takes a shit all over the source material. It's different in cases where Christopher Nolan did Batman, because those changes were for the better. They strengthened the film. They improved from the source material. Like, Joker having the makeup is far creepier than a guy falling into a vat of chemicals at your local Acme plant. Here, they screw over everything. The Guardians have no real plot, even though they're technically the overlords of the Corps, and that's never explained.
Speaking of plot, lots of things are introduced, but dropped. Ferris Air losing millions in the prototypes. It's never brought up again. It's never used for the climax. Set up and dropped. Hector Hammond as a character, set up and dropped. Parallax, set up and dropped. This is the movie. It's set up and drop. No payoff whatsoever. It's not like they're even trying.
Then you have scenes like Hal's family.
Set up and dropped.
They appear 5 minutes on screen max. You see his brothers and his sister. They look at him. They literally just show up, pretty much look at Hal. You're a disappointment. You want to be just like your dad who died. We got the exposition out of the way. Time for us to get off the set. Where's our paycheck at?
Did they even name the fucking nephew?
Hector didn't look like Hector at all. And then, we have the production art where they clearly had a development of this idea where he was going to have that huge, bulbous head.
Set up and dropped.
And they completely ignored it. It's a shame, too, because these designs look genuinely freaky. They look very alien and very monstrous.
Parallax, design-wise, is still the bug, but when it's invading Earth, it looks like it's ready to kill, like a fucking shark. And that was more freaky than just a cloud with a giant big baby hat on it.
Alright, so we can argue this is without a doubt the worst comic book movie ever made.
Godly. By the way, when the hell are you getting out of the nut house?
Next year, the doc says I'm making some pretty good progress. I'm getting a makeover, and with a mass amount of prescription pills, I should be right as rain.
Drugs usually work. I guess have a Merry Christmas, you sick, twisted bastard.
And to you, good sir.